Hello everyone, welcome to this Crypto Flash. First, I wanted to give you our usual Sunday weekly recap. You'll see there's some fascinating stuff and we're getting a clearer picture of the markets and the promising reversal patterns we're anticipating. I've made this a flash format because I really wanted to discuss Telegram. This is happening right here in France. Honestly, it doesn't make me eager to return to France. Arrested Saturday at Le Bourget airport, the encrypted messaging founder, a Russian billionaire dissident, and freedom advocate. A search warrant was issued for him. You'll see it's just a bunch of cliches. It's exactly what Bitcoin critics said before they all changed their tune. Larry Finn from BlackRock, Goldman Sachs guys, everyone in finance, especially American, criticized in exactly these terms. Then now you'll see it's exactly the same wording, targeting various offenses in his encrypted message, from fraud to drug trafficking, cybercrime, organized crime, to glorifying terrorism and fraud. I've even seen mentions of child abuse. All that's left to say is that it's the end of the world. It's because of him. What's happening in the Middle East is because of him. I might be doubtful, but maybe even COVID too. It's because of him. So the only question I'm asking myself, to be completely straightforward, is I wonder, is this France's own initiative, or is France acting against Telegram more for the United States? Why? You know, we talk a lot about Telegram on this channel. Toncoin is exploding, especially with Notcoin, all the games, Playtorn and Taptorn. I read recently that they're aiming for 1 billion users. It's not the only app that's achieved this today. It's becoming the tech world's biggest sensation. Nvidia is getting a lot of attention. With these games and apps attracting millions, they'll double their 500 million user base. I wonder if it's the US again, like with Huawei, using bogus arguments about terrorism. Is it the same situation? I have no idea, but I'll be watching this closely because it's really quite bizarre. For the software world, freedom in Europe, and free speech. Remember, this guy once decided to launch an encrypted messaging app while in Russia. Russia wanted him to stop showing networks of Russian dissidents and critics of Putin. You know, that whole thing. He refused and eventually launched his messaging service with full encryption. He's obviously followed and supported by Elon Musk. Vitalik supports him too, though he did throw a little shade saying he wasn't a fan of the encryption system back then. But of course he supports him, and naturally the entire crypto sector backs him up. It's one of the biggest success stories in the crypto industry. But let's not forget, Telegram is perhaps one of the in global tech, and they're not American. You know, when non-American companies succeed, we've seen it with Huawei and other non-Western players, it's always the same story. My belief is that it's really about slowing its growth, like we did with CZ Binance, putting obstacles in its way for years. 2 years ago, it had 70% market share. Now it's down to 20%. That's the analysis I wanted to share about the situation. I'll follow this closely and we'll definitely discuss it again. Let's get back to basics, friends, even though what's happening here is crucial. On a weekly basis, what I still wanted to share with you, because it's still a slight sigh of relief. We've got great performances. Look at PopCat, Sats, Fetch regaining 50%, STX2 despite today's small setback. Sure, it's down today, but we're still at impressive levels overall. Let me show you the weekly situation to give you a clearer picture. If we ignore market extremes, the wicks, you can see we're still in our range. We're bouncing back nicely. In weekly terms, we saw 2 big uncertainty candles. It could have gone either way, sharply up or down. But to me, it was clear. After 2 big uncertainty candles, that's candles with large ranges but little change from start to end of week. Typically, a strong move follows. I just hope it's not just one green candle before we explode upwards. We need to be very careful, obviously, when it comes to the ATF levels. Breaking through 69, 70 will be crucial, but we remain confident. And as you know very well, my stance hasn't changed one bit. It's been the same for 3 years. I believe we'll hit $100,000 before year end, so we're talking about a 3-4 month horizon. Looking at Ethereum weekly, if we ignore this ugly wick, we see a bounce around 2,500, not much else to say, and it's rebounding perfectly off the moving averages, particularly the 200-day. Stepping back, ignoring extremes, we see a huge W pattern at the 200 range bottom. Sure, if we get into details, it's been a disaster, it crashed and all that, but weekly, that's what matters for long-term investors, not short-term traders. It's simple. Look at where the W starts. We're heading back to an attractive level. For me, this huge W is simple. Look where the W starts. We'll hit a new ATF, not immediately, but I see it hitting $1,000 by early 2025. After that, we'll talk again. At $1,000, I won't sell. I've held here, didn't sell. Now XRP is the quiet powerhouse. Look at this classic accumulation phase. It exploded, pulled back. It's really magnificent. CKB, we see weekly it had a huge crash but bounced back on the 100-day moving average. Next, Atom is bouncing back. Look, it's exceptional. Atom seemed doomed. We'll watch how it recovers. If this is a W, I shared on Twitter, but I can't guarantee it's a W today. If it is, my minimum target is 44. We'll see great performance, I think. Matic is exactly the same. Then Polkadot, it's sluggish. Then we see Cardano. There's a small green candle at least. It's been a while. Chainlink is very sluggish. It looks good on stacks, similar to Teo. Look, if we remove the excess wick, huge W pattern, let's hope we'll break through this level. Next, JRT is very, very sluggish. I think it's a token that's accumulating quite a bit. It's at its lowest. Look, 2022 to 2023, we're practically at the same levels. It's crazy. KDA is sluggish, Decred at its lows. Simply put, it's not even the 2022 to 2023 lows, we're lower. We're at levels from 2020. That's from 2020 simply. So we feel it's starting to recover. Look, explosion, pullback. We hope it'll take off again. QNT seems to be recovering too. Vation is sluggish. Harmony is still impressive in its dynamics, but for me, it's a big accumulation phase right now. And then, we are waiting for targets 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll see what happens. Ghost has been pretty good for 2 weeks. Cello is laborious, even though I have all those files in my portfolio, and I continue to keep my confidence after I have nothing else to say, so I'll move on quickly. Horizon, absolutely nothing to say. Immutable X, small rebound. HAP, laborious. Quiet Force BNB has entered its range. AVAX, we've seen with Escal, it's taking off. It's pretty. Fetch, I think that everyone who has bought around the dollar has made an exceptional purchase. Simply put, Flux. On the Flux, it's a bit laborious. Then we have Full Coin, it's laborious. NIR. And I'll finish with Adira, where I don't have much to say. And the news of the week too is, look at my weekly, how beautiful it is, going parabolic a bit like here. And especially, I'm comparing it to the last bull market when it started going parabolic like here. Remember, late 2022? Step back a bit. It's the chicken or egg question. It's always the same question. Anyway, it's in a nice uptrend like here when Bitcoin had completely exploded. I think if this continues, that's what we'll see next week. If we get more green candles, honestly, it could really accelerate. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick update. If so, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow for the morning update as usual.